we return to a track where all four of the title hopefuls did well last year. It's Oulton played for at Oulton Park.
Hello and welcome back to the British Touring Car Podcast. You join us once again for preview time, and it is Oulton Park this weekend, as we've mentioned.
It is the most beautiful circuit on the calendar.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, it's very picturesque. Very much enjoyed our trip there as well a couple of years ago. We're not going this year, sadly.
Nope.
Due to weddings, Euros and other bits and pieces. In fact, quite sadly, I think I'm done for the year in touring car terms. I think I might get Silverstone. I think other than that, I'm done for the year, sadly.
Oh dear.
Unless we go to Brands for the final day, we'll have to see how things go there. But yeah, it is Oulton Park this weekend. It is a 12-corner circuit, 2.23 miles. It debuted in 1960. Sam, would you like to have a guess at who's got the qualifying lap record?
Well, bearing in mind that the BMWs normally go quite well here, I'm going to go for one of them. I'm going to go for Hill.
Wrong.
Okay, Turkington then.
Wrong.
Oh.
It's actually more. No, it's Ash Sutton.
Oh.
Set
okay.
last year, 1 minute 24.8 set last year. Would you like to have a guess at who might have been the race record holder here?
Now, I remember, I don't know whether it was last year or the year before, but Ingram had a puncher and then came out and was flying. So I'm going to go for Ingram.
No.
Okay. Is it Sutton again?
No.
Oh, for God's sake. It's BMW, isn't it?
It's Jake Hill, 1 minute 25.6, which he set last season. So coming into the weekend, then, it is very tight at the top.
It certainly is.
Very few points separating the top four. It's all to play for, really. You could argue maybe third and fourth gap is starting to get a bit bigger. However, a couple of weeks ago, Hill was a way off, and he's now right back in that championship contenders. So I don't think fourth's out of the question just yet.
Yeah, Hill's had 2 very good weekends on the bounce, and he's brought himself right back into that title hunt. And this is a track where he went especially well at last year.
Absolutely. We'll get to that in a moment. I'm just going to go through the current standings in the Drivers' Championship, because I say it is so tight at the top. Sutton is currently top with 169 points, 5 ahead of Jake Hill on 164. Tom Ingram on 155, so not too far back, and then Colin Turkington, on 136. And I suppose if you're keeping Turkington in mind, Camish on 129 probably isn't out of it just yet either. However, it does feel to me that those top 3 are just starting to eke out in front now.
Yeah, I think those 4 drivers and also those 3 right at the top are drivers that we pinpointed at the start of the season that were going to be the drivers to watch. Turkington we thought was going to have a bit more of a resurgence, especially with that performance that he had at Brands Hatch, but Jake Hill has really got to grips with that BMW now, and we know that Ingram's fast, we know that Sutton's consistent. He took his first win of the season last time out, and he's just building, I think.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that he is still top with only 1 win underneath him, whereas Hill is second with 4 wins, just shows you how consistent Sutton has been at the top end of the grid this season. Of course, doing it all with very little hybrid in qualifying and the first race. I do wonder if part of him will be slightly disappointed that he's leading the championship. I know it's a stupid thing to say coming into Oulton Park just because of the hybrid. This is going to be a track where I think hybrid really is going to make a difference. That long drag up to the old hairpin.
I think the fact that there's different undulations through Oulton, you've got that drag once you come out of the hairpin, you've also got that drag up to the double right-hander at the back of the circuit, and then coming also up onto the pit straight. There are 3 crucial areas where that is going to be needed if you want to make a pass, certainly into turn 1, which is a popular passing place.
Yeah, absolutely. With the, as you say, with the hill changes, the undulations, etc., getting that extra bit of power up a hill really could make a difference this weekend, particularly in qualifying. I wouldn't be too surprised if we see a bit more tactics come into play from Napa here and tows being offered to Sutton. This really does feel like a track where you could get a tow on certain parts of the circuit and where a tow could make a difference. I would expect to see that particularly in Q2 and 3, assuming he gets through Q1, of course, which I keep thinking he won't, but he is the only one I think that's made it through to every Q3 so far. So he just keeps delivering on that score. Yeah. But you mentioned Hill before, and you're absolutely right. He had an absolute barnstormer here last year. So race 1 last year, Hill, Sutton, Ingram. Race 2 last year, it can't ever happen again because of the hybrid. Hill, Sutton, Ingram, so exactly the same. So I look forward to a double exactly the same this weekend. And then Turkington, Hill, Morgan. So Hill, 3 podiums last year, a first, and a second. Sutton had a second, and a retirement. He put it in the wall with contact Tom Ingram at the start of race 3 last year. Ingram had a third, and a fourth, so that's somewhere he goes quite well on. And Colin Turkington, a ninth, a fourth, and a first. Peak Turkington, really good, 3 good points. However, as we've discussed in this podcast before, that kind of point scoring approach isn't enough now. You need to pretty much have 3 top 6s, which is what Sutton's done all year so far.
Yeah, and banking those podiums where you can is, I think, really going to be crucial this season. And it's something that, as we say, Sutton has already done. Hill is edging towards, I would suggest. And I think if he has another strong weekend here, going into that mid-season break, he could well be leading the championship. And I think that will put him in a really good place mentally.
Absolutely. Well, you mentioned that it's a BMW strong track. At time of recording, there is still no news on Bobby Thompson's, whether he'll be back this weekend or not. Obviously, he had to miss out the Thruxton weekend due to funding issues. It's slightly worrying that it's Wednesday, it's shakedown tomorrow, and we've still not got confirmation either way. So, sadly, I would suspect it's not going. He won't be there.
These things have been left to the absolute last minute before, so we are still kind of hopeful, but realistically speaking...
And we are always wrong. So,
yes, that is true.
You know, and you can guarantee that once we've said something, it's been recorded, it's been uploaded, an announcement will come, because that's how it works. So, but yeah, it'd be a real shame if that is the case. I don't want to repeat old ground again, but he's too good to be on the sidelines, and I just...
Especially coming into a track that was dominated by the BMWs last year, you could see him coming in and doing extremely well this weekend.
Yeah.
Because we saw how well he did when he was chucked into the car at Snetterton, and he pulled out some amazing performances. So if he's given that same car again, a track that suits the BMW so well, it could take race wins if he's there.
Absolutely.
But unfortunately, certainly from my predictions, I've based it on him not not being there.
Yeah, as have I. I'm not including any BMW based prediction this weekend that I've gone for is without Bobby Thompson, sadly.
Yeah.
You've mentioned obviously that Hill goes well here, and the stats bear that out. Do you think for Sutton that this weekend is just going to be a little bit about damage limitation? It's due to be sunny at time of recording, again, who knows?
English weather for you.
Which should suit the BMW.
Yes.
It's a track that should suit the BMW's rear-wheel drive. There's lots of traction zones here, out of corners. And look, historically, it does suit BMW. This is probably one of the last rear-wheel drive tracks on the calendar that really does still suit them. Perhaps for Sutton this weekend, is it just a case of accepting that he might lose the championship lead this weekend and just making sure that he doesn't allow the gap to stretch too much?
I think he's going to be very keen on seeing where Hill especially is going to be throughout the field, and if he sees him getting too far ahead, then we might see more of that old Ash Sutton, more of that punchy manoeuvres when they're necessary. But if he's sitting 1 or 2 positions ahead of Sutton, I don't think he's going to be too bothered.
No,
I think he might relish the fact of maybe losing the lead of the championship and being in that, I know it's a very small difference, being in better position for hybrid when it comes to the next circuit, and it's really down to the end of the season that it's going to fully matter.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right. If he loses the championship lead this weekend, it doesn't mean he's lost all momentum in the championship charge. It's just whether can he get into that mindset of he's so often the hunted rather than the hunter, and he might have to swap that mindset. Particularly, I think the biggest question is going to be going into a summer break where he's led the championship for most of the way, and then
I think he'll be fairly relaxed.
Yeah, I think he probably will be as well. But there's just those questions come into play, with the fact he's going to have a long summer to mull over where's it all gone wrong, quote, that he's no longer leading the championship. I am quite a disastrous anyway. I accept that that probably won't be the elite athlete's mindset compared to this chap's anxiety-ridden Rome's mindset. But, I think it is an interesting question that he's not... I can't really remember the last time he wasn't top of the championship.
Mm. It's certainly been a while, but I don't think those kind of thoughts even enter his mind.
No, you're probably right.
He's very much focused on the end goal at the end of the season. He knows that there are going to be BMW suited tracks, there are going to be Hyundai suited tracks, but there are also going to be Ford suited tracks, which are still to come.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, I think they're going to go really well at Knock Hill.
See, I thought they'd go better some of the tracks we've already been to. That's my only concern.
But he has been consistent. Consistency is going to be key this season. You could well see possible Ricks coming for Hill once again, or Ingram. you never know what's going to happen in the touring cars, and that is part of the beauty of the sport. And you could have a disastrous weekend, but also someone else could have a poor weekend, but you're not losing too much ground.
Talking of disastrous weekends, Nick Halstead will be racing again this weekend after suffering quite a nasty crash at race 3 of Thruxton. He has put out quite an interesting status update on Facebook, if that's still the terminology. What's on your mind? He has put up an update onto why things haven't gone so well. So he had what he believes to be a coli for Snetterton, which is why he had to pull out of races 2 and 3. Yeah, I can understand that.
He's been having some of those Tesco sandwiches, hasn't he?
He said Sainsbury's.
Sainsbury's, sorry.
And I had a Tesco sandwich today, so of course I'm riddled with worry as well. So I think the dates are fine. If you're doing if you do the review solo, you'll know why.
Yes,
Well, so
that's right. It's not like you've got a wedding to go to this weekend.
Yeah. Anyway, he's put an update to why Snetterton struggled, and he also put up to about Thruxton, saying that 80% of the drivers love Thruxton, 20% hate Thruxton. He's very much in the 20% that hate it.
Yeah.
And he really struggled last weekend, which led him to making that mistake in race 3 where he was pushing too hard.
Yeah.
And really badly sideswiped the car against the barriers. We still haven't seen the incident.
No.
We may never see the incident. However, he will be back this weekend and at a track where he believes he can go well. So it'll be interesting to see how he can go in the Jack Sears this weekend. 3 finishes will be first port of call, and then anything on that is a bonus.
Can I just mention, on the Jack Sears this weekend, I think it's going to be I know we say this most weekends, but I think it's going to be a really close battle. If you look at the winners for each Jack Sears race last year, it was Dobble, it was Osborne, and it was Watson.
You said you'd done no research.
I had a little bit. So I think we could see a spread of winners across...
You've done some research!
We could see a spread of winners across the weekend. We could see Osborne, Pearson and Dobble all winning a Jack Sears race this weekend, and it's really going to be difficult to call, I think.
We could see a 2024 version of Osborne going well, and Smiley happened down the curve.
Yes!
This is where the "and then Smiley happened" was born, at Oulton Park, down Cascades, where Osborne was taken off by a Smiley. So
we hope that doesn't happen. I
hope it doesn't happen, obviously.
Predicted this, just like the Ingram and Huff poll, and yeah,
I hope it doesn't happen, obviously. However, any chance to
if it does, we're getting the t-shirts made.
Yeah, any chance to rebirth the and then Smiley happen is always good for me. I've been dining out on that for a while. So I think I'm worried about the Coopers this weekend. It's kind of gone under the radar that after the excitement of DeLyon getting this sponsorship and it being Duckham's, it's not been a great season since. There's been lots of reliability problems. And it's kind of gone under the radar a little bit, but I was watching back the Thruxton races earlier in the week, and again, reliability problems. It's just not working out. And it's, for me, it has still got all the hallmarks of the previous team owner, or previous team, shall we say. And it's gone a little bit under the radar for me. He has scored points, and he is doing okay in Jack Sears, and I still think he's a really good driver, but I just think that it's going under the radar that car is starting to fall apart a little bit. And added to that, Sumpton doesn't seem quick, and Smiley, who is the best of the 3 Cooper, or most experienced of the 3 Cooper drivers, doesn't seem quite on it either.
It's really difficult with a team like the Leons, is that he's one car, he's a handful of mechanics. The backing that he's got is brilliant from Duckham's, but it may not be enough to sustain the kind of backing that you've got. Even at Restart, they've got a full team there. They've got almost a brand identity that they've pulled across from TCR. So what De Leon's doing, I think, is credible considering the position that he's in.
Yeah, what he's doing is credible. My main concern is about the car. We're here again in reliability problems. We're here in the realms again of the car, of stuff going wrong on the car. And it's not going wrong on other people's cars. So the Hyundai things aren't going wrong on in the same rate.
No.
And there's 4 of them.
But there are more people to look over each car, and you gradually spot those issues. Fine.
So I then look at PMR as an example of another, with respect, smaller team. And not as small as DeLion's bar car.
Running the Toka setup as well.
Exactly. And not as small as the DeLion team, I accept. But have they had reliability problems this year so far? I can't think of any off the top of my head. They've had a few bits where the driver might have made a mistake. That's touring cars. Mistakes happen. I'm not looking at that particularly. I can't think of any real mechanical ones off the top of my head.
On the whole, no, but I think part of that is because of how long PMR have been in the sport and how they work as a team and an organisation. Yeah. And I think both of these teams are on an incredibly steep learning curve.
Yeah, I accept that. I was expecting more from these Coopers across the board, and
I think I can understand why you're expecting more because of the performances that we saw Thompson put in last season and the performances we saw Dan Lloyd put in last season.
And Huff on his...
We know how quick that car can be in the right hands with the right team behind it and the right setup and the right luck on the right day. It just hasn't clicked this season fully for those three, unfortunately.
Should we get into some actual realms of predictions then, rather than just general chit chat? So I'm going to go kick things straight off with pole, and I'm going Colin Turkington. It's a BMW track. He's going to have the most hybrid out of the BMW drivers, other than Morgan, but
Morgan's been quick recently.
Morgan has been quick recently, but every time he's in a position where things are looking good, it goes wrong somehow. So, yeah. Hasn't he been leading a race twice this year and not won either?
Well, so, the fact is, the previous 2 rounds, Morgan has qualified in the top 3 for both of those. Yeah. And I think he could well be a dark horse for pole this weekend.
I think he's a dark horse, but not enough to put money on.
He's not who I've gone for, though.
No, who have you gone for?
I have gone for Hill.
Yeah, I can see. I'm only going for Turkington based on that extra hybrid might make all the difference.
I just think Hill is so in sync with that car at the moment that he could literally turn up, stick on the setup that he's had for the last 2 rounds and go quickly. Yeah. And even with that difference in hybrid, we've seen it from Sutton already this season, having that lack of hybrid might not even be enough to be a bigger kicker to take that away from him.
Fair enough. I get it. I'm not going to argue against it, but I disagree. In terms of race winners, I've gone for Turkington. I can see a lights to flag. Hill, I can see him taking a race 2, settling a little bit in race 1, taking race 2. And Camish, I'm going for a reverse grid. I think he's getting better in that car, looking better all the time.
I feel there's quite a few similarities in our predictions here.
Well, yeah, not too dissimilar. So you've also got 2 of the same as me.
Yeah, I've got Hill and Turkington. I think Hill, if he gets pole, he'll run off into the distance.
I can see that.
Turkington, just because I think he'll be there or thereabouts because of the car. And then I think Sutton is really working at the moment towards those race 3 reverse grids, wins, take the tyres in the right way and get the most amount of hybrid for race 3.
The only risk I've got here is that if he qualifies lowly, even outside the top 6, it's a difficult circuit to pass on.
It is, but he always finds a way.
He does always find a way. That's a fair riposte. Okay, Jack Searson. I've gone for Pearson. I think that the Hyundai engine is superior to anything that they are racing against, and I think that this weekend, with the hybrid, with the engine, that should really tell this weekend. And I can see Pearson winning, which means Dobble's going to win because you've not gone for Dobble either.
Well, as I've already mentioned, I think it could be any of those 3. They could all take a different, or a win in each race this weekend. But overall, I've gone for Osborne. I don't know why.
No, I don't particularly. But
he has more out of hope than expectation.
He's gone well here in the past, as we discussed. Yeah. The Ford isn't a bad car. I just think that the Hyundai has the engine capability that...
Now you've reminded me that Smiley could happen. I'm slightly regretting that choice.
Well, Smiley could happen to Pearson this year.
That's true. True.
Could happen to anybody.
Yeah. And you'll see where we've been talking about Coopers. You might see my positivity coming through a little more in the general predictions,
which I'm just trying to load.
So my first general prediction is that you may think I've flaked on this one.
Let me guess. Sutton starts race 1.
Smiley for 3 points finishes.
Okay. I don't think it's flake particularly because I still worry about the car.
Yeah, it could be a tricky one. If everyone finishes, then it's obviously going to be much more difficult. But I think we could see some retirements. You tell me it's a tight track this weekend.
I do tell you. Yes.
Are there going to be instances where we're going to have drivers coming together? It's possible.
It's very possible. It's very possible indeed.
How are you getting on there, mate?
It's going well. We've also not decided what we're doing for the general predictions, so that's probably a good time to discuss that.
Advert bingo, I thought.
Okay, we are going to do that.
We are doing advert bingo. Because we're at home this weekend, there are always plenty of adverts that we love to moan about. Yeah. So we're going to pick out 1, 2. I've only picked out 1.
What, 1 advert?
Yeah.
We're gonna pick up three. Yeah.
Three. Okay, we're picking out 3 adverts. We're all prepared. 3 adverts this weekend that we will have between the races.
I've also got my predictions now.
Lovely, good.
Right, so I'm going to go for a treble podium for Hyundai. They will get a podium in each race.
Oh, okay, that's what you mean.
Yeah, not 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
No.
Oh, okay.
Treble podium, they'll get a podium in each race.
Okay, that's fine. I have gone for the same then for BMW.
You have?
A BMW on the podium in each race, just because of how well they go here, and Thompson might turn up. That's not what that's based on.
No, but if he does,
I'm kind of expecting either Hill or Turkington to win races this weekend, and then Morgan to be there or thereabouts.
Because I've got a 4-point lead over you now, I've been a little bit bold in my
mind.
No! So I've gone for we'll have a new race winner for the 2024 season. So not one that's not the first ever race win of their career.
Yeah, okay.
But a new winner for the 2024 season.
So it can't be Huff.
No.
Can't be Moffat.
No.
And then the top 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we'll get a new race winner this weekend.
Any not taking this as a prediction, any names you're throwing out there?
Well, I've already put Camish as in my predictions.
Definitely.
I'm not putting that. I'm not tying that to this prediction.
No, I know,
but that's the one I think we'll get.
Do you think anyone else might be there or thereabouts?
Morgan will be there or thereabouts. And look, Cookie is due a win at some point as well.
Yeah, we keep saying that.
Yeah, but the Toyota does go pretty well here as well.
We keep saying that as well.
It went well at Frux. It has gone well at every track. Yes, it's just it's slightly behind some of these other ones, but. Yeah, the reverse grid is really working well this year on the whole. On the whole, and okay, Sutton last time out won, and he's something that wins race 1 and 2. But we've seen Pearson win a race.
Yes.
We've seen Huff win a race, and we've seen Moffat win a race. 3 out of the 4 ain't bad.
No.
So yeah, I'm
true.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chilton could do it.
I mean, yeah, he could if he feels like it.
Yeah.
Depends which Chilton turns up, really.
It does. Yeah, so don't rule it out. Your final one.
My final one is Ingram is not going to take a podium this weekend, which I think could be quite bold considering his history from last season.
So if he gets a podium and then has to go to the bus and has a bit of a moan about it and loses it, does that count as not having a podium? Or are we talking final race win? Are we talking provisional or final? Only because that,
I want to clarify it as final race results.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
So you can be really annoyed now if he finishes 4th and then somebody gets disqualified, he gets heard, aren't
Yes, I am. But,
okay. But no,
luck works both ways.
We're going for final classification. No, that's absolutely fine. And I'm going to go for no points for any of the Cooperers this weekend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I really don't see them doing well.
I look forward to a 4-car pile up on the first corner and guaranteeing points.
Not necessarily, it's still on a finish.
I know.
That's the point. If they don't finish.
No, they have to be classified.
They have to be classified.
Yes.
So they could finish DNF 14th but not get points.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So then, adverts.
Yeah, 7 days performance will be up there. Trying to sell you tickets to a Lamborghini Urus or something. That'll be one of them.
My first one is the cleft palate appeal.
Yep.
We always see those unfortunate, sad children with the deformities. Your next one?
I'm going to go for... can I go for Tim Harvey's Btcc?
No, you can't.
No, that's a shame.
You can't go for Quick Fit, as it's the title sponsor of the show.
I'm going to go for the Poppy Lottery.
Oh, yeah, nice choice.
Yeah, thank you.
Nice choice.
Thank you.
I'm going to go down... Oh, no, that is the same one, isn't it? British Legion is the same one, isn't it?
Yeah. You could have the postcode lottery or...
I'm going to go for Sun Life.
Yeah, they're
Insurance.
not really knocking about in that. Yeah, no worries at all. I'm going to go for the Sad Donkeys.
I thought you might go for that. Look, we haven't seen it in a while, though.
No, we haven't, but it's getting to summer now. It's donkey season. We've got donkeys playing in the Euros.
Yeah.
It's, you know, I think we could see a donkey appeal this weekend.
Do I'd be a scumbag. Okay, I'm going to be a scumbag. Advert for the Euros.
See, I don't think you are being a scumbag because we've done this in the past for either the Tour de France or something and it didn't come up once.
Okay.
So
I'm going to go
I think you're fine.
Advert for the Euros on ITV.
Because, we've had that in the past where there's been a big event on ITV and they didn't mention it once. So, I'm happy with that.
Cool.
That's fine. I don't mind that.
We've got our 3 advert predictions. Let us know your predictions on the general and also your race winners, your pole position and your Jack Sears winner for this weekend. Let us know if you're going, where you might be standing, if you're looking forward to the weekend, what your expectations are going to be. Hopefully, there's going to be no rain, because the last time Oulton Park had rain for a big event, the GTs, there was a lot of difficulty getting out of car parks.
there's a lot of difficulty getting racing going. And as we know, if it rains in England, we can't race anymore.
Yeah.
We're not allowed to do racing because we can't drain circuits because we don't normally get rain in England.
Enough, dear.
And therefore, we couldn't possibly have cars with wet tyres going around a circuit because that would be dangerous.
Let's bring it back up.
It won't rain. It'll be fine. I won't have E. coli. It'll be fine. And we'll have a review next week.
Yep, so Russ will be joining me a little bit later, but hopefully just in time, just after race 1.
No, just because it's because of the late start at Oulton Park, we can't race till after 12, so I should be with you okay, I reckon. I'll be leaving the venue at 11. It's about an hour drive.
Okay.
I should be with you for the start of the race 1, I hope.
Cool.
Yeah, as I say, I should be with you for race 1. Race 1 is at 25 past 12.
Yep.
So that should be okay. Race 2 at 20 to 3. Race 3 at 25 past 5. Obviously, these are all subject to change depending on problems with other races. And your qualifying on Saturday is at 30. Try that again. Is at 25 to 4. I will not be watching qualifying as that will be right in the middle of the meal, and I don't think I can.
Not even on your phone. It's live on YouTube, don't forget.
It's like,
so you might be able to get away with it.
Yeah, but the Euros are on as well, and I can't dual
That's
screen.
true.
I can't.
You could borrow your girlfriend's phone.
Just do
2 screens, and then
but that
at
becomes,
least watch the final part.
but that becomes conspicuous, doesn't it? If I'm there with 2.
True.
And I can't really go to the bathroom for a long break unless the aforementioned E. coli is taken over. So, yeah.
But yeah, don't forget that all races are live on TikTok this year, and we'll be posting updates on there as well as the rest of our social media. So if you haven't done already, go and subscribe, follow, get the bell on, like, comment. All the interaction really helps, and we love to hear from you. Anything to add?
No, bye.
See you later. Good enough for you.
If it's good enough for you, it's good enough for me. It's good enough for 2. That's why I wanna sing.
Right.